Jasmine Jasovicius.
This is Matt, the Steamroller Frivola.
I'm Damon Jackson.
Don't forget to tap into the Darce Podcast.
Darce Podcast. Let's go.
Ladies and gentlemen, we are live for another episode of the Darce Podcast. I'm here throwing hands with my guys, Slick Montana, Mr. Plus Money. Put your guard up, bro. He's just taking shots. He relies on his chin too much. And my guy Cal on the ones and twos. What's good, y'all? We're back for another episode. Coming off UFC Paris, where we got a couple reactions, and then we'll jump right into UFC 307. Alex Poatan Pereira taking on Khalil Rountree, the title shot that nobody asked for. But first, UFC Paris. Slick Moicano wants money. He whoops ass, swells the eyes shut of BSD. He's sitting there on the stool. The doctor has no choice but to call it, or else the guy's going to lose an eye. I mean, I didn't have anything on the main event. I wanted to sit back and watch. But wow, Moicano does it again. I mean, were you impressed by that?
Hell yeah, man. Whatever Moicano does, he just impresses us each and every fight going on forward. Hopefully they give him, because they didn't even move him up the rankings. I think they only moved him up one spot. It's crazy. So, hey, man, we'd love to see Moicano maybe against Hooker, Patty.
I was going to ask you, do you think they give him Hooker next? He's saying, Dan Hooker, he's in top 5, top 6. It's like seeing turtle in a tree. Who put him there, right? It's like one of the funniest lines ever. You think they give him Hooker next? I mean, that's a banger.
Yeah, I mean, definitely. I mean, I've seen something about Hooker wanting to fight Poirier in a rematch, but hey, I know Hooker is down to fight anybody, so hopefully they do give him that fight.
Seems like Moicano is too. Okay, I got to go to Mr. Plus. Almost 2 minutes in, the guy hasn't said a word. That's my fault. Dude, Joe Anderson, Brito, the second leg of your parlay. Brian Battle, like you said, kicking ass, quite literally, and then Brito getting the robbery, like Cal said. We don't love to just say robbery, but holy smokes. I mean, that's Paris hometown cooking right there. You got to be pissed off.
Yeah, all I can think about is the Big L song Heist over and over again. Like, he literally came to the studio and stole from us. That was messed up, man. William Gomes definitely did not win the first 2 rounds. He had some control in the first, but no damage. Obviously, the more exciting fighter was Brito the whole time, although Brito didn't do what I thought he was going to do in getting close and just kill him. But yeah, Brian Battle won for the record books there. If you don't know him, now you do. This dude talks shit to the entire French Republic. He's getting fined heavily, I'm sure. Maybe the UFC will cover some of it since the content was so dope. But yeah, Brian Battle, one of my favorites. I'm going to continue betting this dude. And he said it himself. He said, now I'm going to fight even better competition. So I got to get more ready. And he's already home training. So
Bro,
yeah,
those
are my reactions. Straight robbed.
Yeah, no, I got a feel for any Brito bettors there. I thought he clearly won that fight. It was a grappling heavy fight, but Brito had more control. Even when he was grappling, he was just doing more to win the fight. So that's that. What can you do? Paris hometown cooking. But yeah, I agree with you, man. I think that Battle, dropping the Pooh Bear nickname, now the Butcher. I mean, he's a new man, and flipping off the French fans. Like, I agree, Dana might cover that. Be like, dude, I got you. That was awesome. You're a fan favorite now. I'll foot the bill for that one. All right, guys, let's move on to UFC 307 and get right into our picks on this stacked card from Salt Lake City with the Slick Report.
He's the master of the breakdown. A slick moves. That's made Kappa. Philly's financially improved. As we'll see.
We got an interesting fight to talk about right away. Former champion going at it. Ladies fighting. I'm actually very excited about a lot of the female fights. So, Slick, kick it off for us. Who do you got?
We're going to go with Tisha Pennington, formerly known as Tisha Torres. I really like her in this spot. All we know is that she has good wrestling defense. She's going to have the striking edge. And at the end of the day, Carla Esparza already said this is her last fight. She's coming off a 2-year layoff. I'm just not too high on that. I know Tisha Pennington has been mad over that Tabitha Ricci loss, because she arguably won that fight. I had Tabitha Ricci, but I could have gave it to Tisha Pennington. She stuffed 9 takedowns out of 10 attempts. She didn't really let the wrestling get to her. And that was a younger, more explosive type of girl in Tabitha Ricci. Now she's fighting Carla Esparza, who's in her, I think she's about to be 38, 39 years old. So I just think that she's on her way out. Tisha Torres still that one like Angela Hill type of girl that just keeps trying to level up every time. And this is the fight that I'm gonna lay the chalk a little bit. You get her on BetMGM at -165, -170 on some books. But I just like this spot for her to just keep going and getting a win under her belt. That's not a robbery.
I like it, man. T-shirt Pennington, -165. You found a good line, so definitely shop listen to Slick there because I see up to -180 around books. But I agree with you, man. I like Pennington too. You tell me in Esparza, Mr. Plus, you got to fade a fighter that's got one foot out the door. You just had a kid. Hey, we like to tell that for male fighters, right? I'm fighting for my family now. I got more to fight for. I got to feed my baby. But for females, little different story, right? They go through a lot more than we do. So what do you think about Esparza, the former champ? Can Pennington stave off the wrestling?
Yeah, I mean, not only is she out the door, she's one of the most boring fighters in the UFC. Everything reminds me of that Rose Namajunas win. Oh my gosh, they punched each other 3 times in the entire 5 rounds. It was ridiculous. I gotta fade her for sure. And like Slick said, she's so inactive. It was like a year and however many months ago, and then 2 years and 4 months ago. I'm looking on the Tapology. It's like, bro, nah, not active enough. Although Pennington wasn't active before her last fight, so I don't know if she had a baby or something. But anyways, yeah, I'm just leaning with Slick on this one. I'll give you a lock for it though. No finish in this fight. This is going the distance. It's probably -1,000.
He thinks it's going the whole way. Hey, Pennington's coming off 2 split decision losses, both against good grapplers. Mackenzie Dern was that previous fight, and then Tabitha Ricci, which Slick said you could arguably give it to Pennington. So the tiny tornado stays busy, stays scrambling. As far as a 1 foot out the door, I totally agree with the Slick report this week. I'm tailing. Cal, you got something to add?
Just the one difference I think in the Ricci fight and this fight is Ricci does have boxing and throws volume, and Esparza has nothing. She's going to do nothing on the feet. And if you look at Tisha Torres, she was taken down 10 times in one of her fights many, many years ago. But Tisha Pennington, as Slick did say, stuffed 9 takedown shots from Tabitha Ricci. I think this is a great spot for the Slick report this week.
Good distinction there. Tisha Torres maybe gets taken out. Tisha Pennington, now that she married champion Raquel Rocky Pennington, grappling defense is there. She's getting the dub. I like it. All right, let's move on to the next segment. And we got to talk about 3 fights on the Mr. Plus Parlay Bus.
Plus, Parlay Bus, bet it all in trust. Jabs and hooks, it's all about the rush. Put it down on the underdog, never hush. And I'll see you in that shit.
Drive a bus home after the insane robbery of Brito last week. You can't do anything about that other than bemoan the judges. So this week we got 3 fighters to bring us home. Who are we starting it off with, Plus?
Yeah, I feel like they put cinder blocks where the wheels go, guys. I don't know what's going on. Let's try to get the bus back on track this week. I got 3 fights coming in hot. These should be bangers. At least the fighters I like should make them bangers. Man, leg number 1, I'm going with Alex Hernandez. Even in this guy's losses, he looks fucking great. Remember that split decision with Damon Jackson? Could have gone either way. They went to absolute war. Man, this is the guy who can go all 3 rounds. I like him. Austin Hubbard, on the other hand, boring fighter for me, coming off that Tough House or the Ultimate Fighter. Man, if you're losing to Kurt Hollabaugh by submission, you are not in the category of winning for me. I know he got that decision off of Figlag, whatever, his last fight. That's nobody, man. The level of competition here is just different. Alex Hernandez has fought the better guys, and although he's lost 4 out of 5, his win within those fights was against Jim Miller, a guy we all highly respect and looked good in his last few fights. So listen, I know he's done now, but I'm going with Alex Hernandez, leg number 1. Leg number 2, and I'll try to move along a little faster here. Listen, I'm a big fan of Wonder Boy, but Buckley at 170 is a problem, and that's just the truth. He's got him on the grappling. Joaquin Buckley is going to be everywhere in his face. Don't get me wrong, the fighting karate style of Wonder Boy, dude, it is hard to figure this guy out. He is the standalone puzzle. Man, he's a tough fighter. Don't get me wrong, but I think Joaquin Buckley's just gonna be there. He's got good fight IQ. He knows where to take the fight when. The only thing I worry about, he's got all those muscles, and we're in altitude, so that worries me a little bit. Stephen Thompson might have the better stamina, but I'm still gonna stick with Buckley as my pick for leg number 2 on the Mr. Plus Parlay Bus. And finishing it off, you guys are gonna love this. This is the lock of the century here. We're going right to the main event. and taking Poatan to finish off the bus. Give me Alex Pereira by destruction. What is Khalil Nobody Tree even doing in this fight? Where did this happen? You just jumped 6 or 7 spots. He was ranked 7 or 8, and he's getting a title shot. Man, more people should call out Poatan because this guy never turns down a fight. He's ready to clip you whenever you're ready to get clipped. And let's be honest, he hasn't taken on a lot of damage, bro. This guy is a monster kickboxer. He's only getting better on the ground. He had Glover Teixeira training him for so long. I mean, I'm with Poatan. I see this run being a long time. He could take over that pound for pound best ever from Khabib, from John Jones. Man, give me Poatan for the dub. Finish off the bus.
Poatan to finish off the bus. I love that we've got the main event here. I love that we get to talk about Buckley and Thompson. It's an awesome fight. We'll start it off with your first leg, Mr. Plus, Alex Hernandez, and our thoughts on him against Austin Hubbard. Slick, you were talking about, Mr. Plus, you were talking about Austin Hubbard on The Ultimate Fighter. I felt he lost that fight to Roosevelt Roberts, and I think they gave him the decision. It was a close one. And then after that, I was ready to fade him. He beats Figlak. It's a little weird figuring him out, but I kind of agree with you. Hubbard had his shot, Slick. Like, is he really getting the dub here? What's he going to bring to Hernandez that he hasn't seen yet?
I just can't trust Hubbard in this spot, man. The last couple fights, it's just that he's not wearing the damage good enough. Like in that Kurt Holloway fight, he actually clipped Austin Hubbard. I think Austin Hubbard tried to shoot a takedown. He got it and then got himself in a triangle, you know. And then even in that Roberts fight, he was just trying to clinch up Roberts, try to get the takedowns. And Roberts was able to inflict a lot of damage on him. I don't know how Roberts didn't win that fight. But that's not the here nor there. And this is just a spot that Alex Hernandez, you know, like you say, just the level of competition, got to pick him in the spot. We all know Alex Hernandez is one of those guys that I believe this is at 145. If you know he tried to add one weight cut, you know, he in that fight, I forgot his last fight with Damon Jackson, I believe it was, that his weight cut actually looked good, and that's how, you know, his cardio held up. So Alex Hernandez, as long as he's able to put some damage on Austin Hubbard, I think he definitely gets a nice 30-27 win.
Yeah, that is the only concern there is the elevation that Mr. Plus brought up. We're in Salt Lake City, and Austin Hubbard does train out of Elevation Fight Team in Denver, so he's used to the altitude. And Hernandez, big, strong guy, right? He has in the past had a difficult weight cut, maybe has gas late in third round, still finished the fight. He's a tough guy, but I agree with you guys. I mean, I think he takes this fight. I think he's the more talented fighter in this matchup. We'll move on. Better fights on the bus to talk about. Buckley, Thompson. What a matchup here. Wonder Boy, 41 years old, plus 165 in this matchup. Plus, I kind of wanted to take a shot on him, so I don't want to upset the apple cart, a.k.a. the bus. But it's a tough fight. Slick, I'm trying to see in my mind's eye. Is he staying bouncy in karate range? Is he making it too tough for Buckley to close distance, grapple him? I mean, he's done it to some of the best, right? He just stayed out there at range. The people that have broken down his grappling defense are Gilbert Burns, Bilal Muhammad, Shavkat Rakhmonov. I'm wondering, is Buckley in that class of fighters that can get in close and take away the range striking of Thompson? Do you believe that Buckley can do so?
I just believe that Buckley is going to go full in on his wrestling. Like, this is the guy that I've been watching on his Instagram. Every time he goes live, every time he does something, he's always speaking about being smart in the cage, going for the win, not worrying about anybody, worrying about, you know, his flashy knockouts or something. And that's the type of guy that I want to listen to going into a fight against Stephen Thompson. Like, he even changed his profile picture to the Khabib hat. You know, he got the Khabib hat on his profile picture of him. So I just think that he's going to go full in on his wrestling. He has good power in his hands that I know he's going to be able to close distance, have Thompson a little bit worrisome of closing the distance on him. And I just think that he's going to be able to not dictate the pace, but dictate the opportunities he's going to present himself. Because if you fight on Thompson terms, then you're going to lose the fight like 9 times out of 10. But if Buckley's able to at least put some damage on Thompson, get Thompson worried about the striking a little bit, because Buckley does have good kicks himself. If he starts implementing his kicks, his body kicks and stuff like that, I think the wrestling will come later. And that's where it's really going to wear on him, because I think Buckley has shown that down at 170, his cardio is going to be able to hold up. We've seen him go that full-on pace against the guy Nursitin Ruzaboyev. So I think it's a good spot for Buckley to at least get the wrestling going. The only problem is just going to be that third round. as if like if it's 1-1 going to that third round, if Buckley isn't able to get that wrestling going, I'm gonna be a little worrisome. But I think Buckley gets the wrestling going the first two, and I think this fight goes to decision. Plus, Thompson always been getting the bad end of the stick in a lot of these fights. So if Buckley gets the wrestling going early, I think he definitely is going to be able to wear on him.
Interesting. He's got the Khabib hat on the social media, so maybe plus that's exactly what you're looking for. You want him to take away the range and get in close and grapple up. Now, Slick mentioned it's at altitude, so a wrestling heavy game plan for a big muscled guy. I mean, Buckley's shown he can go the distance before. Cal, do you think there's a chance he gasses? And what do you think about this fight?
I even think on the feet, Buckley presents a little bit of a problem just with regards to, and I know Thompson's got his karate style and makes it work, but Holland even landed damage when Holland was still not defensively sound and getting hit himself and lost that fight. But he was landing on Thompson too, and Thompson was wearing damage pretty hard. So Buckley lands really hard. He has a lot of power and he marches forward. And then if he does get his D1 Buckley going, which he has had, got some takedowns in a couple fights. So he's got some solid wrestling. I like him in this spot too.
All right, fellas might have convinced me not to sprinkle Thompson, and the bus continues chugging along plus, and we'll finish out with everyone's favorite leg. I mean, Alex Poatan Pereira in for another potential highlight knockout here. Minus 520, you get the arrows out. But, how do you even bet this fight? I mean, you have to pick a round, you have to pick the knockout. What if he subs him? Are you giving Slick Khalil Rountree, or as Mr. Plus said, Khalil Nobody Tree, Khalil Turtle in a tree? Are you giving him a puncher's chance? He's a good Muay Thai striker. He could chin anybody, right? I mean, can he find an uppercut?
I mean, that's all you could give this guy is a puncher's chance in this spot, man. Because at the end of the day, you got to respect Khalil's power. We've seen him land some great shots, but like the guy Poatan is just on another level right now. This is a guy that honestly I will not bet against him anymore if he's not fighting no wrestlers. Like this guy has just shown that all it takes is one. So I'm gonna take Poatan, but I just don't see no good odds. I see KO minus 200 around there. I'm gonna take the under 2.5 as a good parlay piece, minus 240. I think this fight ends either in the first or second. A lot of Khalil Rountree fights have been 3-round fights. I don't believe he has ever been in a 5-round fight. So if, a lot of his KOs are either in that early first, early second. So, but Poatan, the thing about him is that once he gets his range, it's over for you, bro. Like he knows what his range is, just killer. Me personally, I'm not betting against him in this spot. I got to go with Poatan.
Dude, what fight was it before? Maybe the Jamal Hill fight, which I psychotically bet against him in. And like you said, will be the only time that I will have ever. I actually won Izzy fight. I haven't. I wish I had been on Poatan for every single fight, even the one he lost. But I remember him saying, "Es calibrato." The right hand is calibrated, and once he finds the range, like Slick said, it's wraps. I could see him tearing up the legs of Khalil Rountree, Mr. Plus. You think maybe tap, 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 low kick? Kind of just destroy the legs from underneath him and then put him away? Or how early do you see this fight finishing?
Oh, yeah. I'm doing by round 1 by KO. And I know I get it. He could sub him, but I don't think that's the way it goes down. These guys are both strikers, both talking about I'm not shooting. Even though everyone's saying that Poatan should shoot. Nah, man, fuck that. This is going to be on the feet. And, yeah, he has a puncher's chance, Khalil Nobody Tree. However, I don't think that's happening. I see Poatan keeping his distance with the kicks. And then landed that left, man. Signature left. Just another one for the highlight reel.
Dude, left hook is coming. The Muay Thai versus the Muay Thai. So, I mean, I wouldn't necessarily call Pereira's style Muay Thai, but Rountree certainly is. And that high guard and upright stance, I could see a left hook just coming right through the guard there and chinning everyone. What say you?
And 1 second to add for Mr. Plus here, just really quickly. For all you whiny little people in the comments, just one little thing with this parlay bus here. This sets up a perfect hedge opportunity for you. I do not see Khalil Rountree winning a decision because if he even gets into the 4th and 5th, he's going to be wearing damage so bad. So if you set up with Khalil Rountree by KO, if you feel you want to hedge, that's your fucking hedge. Shut up. Take your ball home. Cry. See you later.
Take your ball home, he said. Yeah, there you go. Khalil is a puncher's chance is the chance we're giving him. So like Cal says, knockout is the play if you want to hedge. All right, Hernandez, Buckley, Pereira. And I don't see Hernandez odds on books right now. So pending if that fight is actually official slated to go, I haven't seen any injury news or weight cut, issue reports. So we'll keep you posted on that. But Mr. Plus, maybe we need an alternate. Slick, you got an update?
minus 215 on Bet Rivers and Betway, the only ones.
For Alex Hernandez.
Yeah.
There you go. Lines are up. So we're good to go on the bus. All right, guys. Love it. Time to move on to the Brasco breakdown.
Brasco's breakdown.
And I got an underdog for you guys on this one. I need a cash one. I have 0 for 2 in the last Brasco breakdown. Lost to 29-28 in a split decision. So close ones on last week's card. I'm coming through with a plus 145 here. Give me Marina Rodriguez to take down Yasmin Lucindo, rising strawweight prospect. Look, I like Lucindo, 22 years old. She's impressed. Super explosive and athletic. She can mix in her grappling. But I think this is a step too high up in competition for her. Rodriguez's crafty Muay Thai striking is tough to deal with at range. And I think the 22-year-old is going to find herself maybe behind a step or a little out of sorts, trying to figure out how to deal with it. You know, Rodriguez, if she keeps this fight standing, she's taken to some of the best in the division throughout her career. She only loses when she's out grappled, and that's happened against against Virna Jandiroba and wrestlers of that caliber. Jessica Andrade was able to lay on her sort of and just land on kicks that she slipped on and able to kind of eke out a split decision with grappling control time. Like, Rodriguez has had to deal with grappling advances from some of the best. So I wouldn't bet on Lucindo as a favorite to grapple her up. I just don't necessarily see that. Could certainly happen, but I think if they trade at range, it's looping shots versus straight punches. And Lucindo's looping shots can be avoided. I think that Rodriguez is first to the mark with her elbows, knees, and the clinch if they tangle up, and she's finding 1-2s down the middle at range. So, yeah, I think this is going to be a bloody fight, actually. Should be a fun one. And I think the veteran Rodriguez in this spot hands out a lesson. So give me here as a dog at plus 145. I see Slick shaking his head. I see Plus nodding his head. Plus, are you with me on this one?
Yeah, I am. I think there's levels to the game. And although I would normally take an age difference, I'd take the younger fighter all day. I think 22 is a little too young. You're not Chihuahuas, okay? I really got to go with the Rodriguez side here. I think she beats her up. And yeah, I mean, 37 is, you're almost at the end of your career, but she's fought the way better competition, let's be honest. I'm sticking with it. I like her as a dog. I like the plus money. Yeah, I'm with you, Brasco. Give me Mariana Rodriguez.
And she's 17, 4-2 in her career, Slick. Her 4 losses, split decision to Carla Esparza, former champ. Amanda Lemos knocked her out. She's pretty good. Virna Jandiroba, title contender. Jessica Andrade, split, which she was probably going to win if she didn't slip and fall on a kick. What do you think about Rodriguez in this spot?
Yeah, I got to go with Rodriguez in this spot. This is definitely, like Mr. Pleasant, you said, levels check. I just think a lot of times Gabriella, fights girls that she's able to overpower, over grapple like she did against Carolina. And I just don't think that she's going to be able to outstrike Marina Rodriguez if it stays on the feet. Marina Rodriguez has shown that she, even if she doesn't get taken down, has good get-up game. She's just one of those types of girls that if the fight is getting away from her in that third, she's going to try to do everything in her power to knock you out. So I think this is a good spot for her to get a win.
I like it, man. Yeah, level check. 15-year age gap, a little scary, like Plus alluded to. Usually you want to be with the younger fighter. But, I mean, you're going from fighting Brogan Walker, Polyana Viana, and then Karolina Kowalkiewicz to freaking Marina Rodriguez, who's fighting ranked champions and contenders. It's a lot. So, yeah, let's see her keep it on the feet and outstrike her for the dub. All right, guys. It's time to move on to the Dogs of the Week. And this week, we got some spicy ones. I heard Cal saying he thinks the dogs are going to bark on this card. So let's see what Mr. Plus thinks. Who's the dog that you think barks?
All right, I actually got 2, but we'll go to the one that I told you guys I was going to do first in case you guys are ready with some reactions to this. I am not a Kevin Holland fan. I like that the Trailblazer is a blazer and he smokes and he's cool. And I like him as a person, not as a fighter, man. He's very kill or be killed. And he goes in there to do destruction or get destroyed. I like Roman Dolidze, and obviously Kevin Holland is moving up in weight. He has moved up in weight. He looked okay. Okay, call him okay against Olajaychek when he was doing the armbar. He broke his dude's arm and couldn't get a guy to tap out, or maybe he didn't break his arm. Maybe his fucking armbar was just shit. I don't know. It looked like it was out of socket a little bit, but maybe he just wasn't strong enough. Olajaychek has been getting clobbered and beat up by everybody, and that's not a win that even matters to me. I get it that your losses were to Michael Venom Page, who was brand new to UFC. We didn't know the level, right? But he's just a great Bellator champion. But then we got Jack Della, who's on the up and coming. I get it. This guy also fights so much. What does he have, like 20 fights in the last 12 or 14 months or whatever it is, bro? He fights every other week or every other month. I'm not into that. That's too much volume. I'm going with Roman Dolidze. Although he beat Anthony Smith, and we're not super high on Anthony Smith, that was coming off of when Anthony Smith upset the other dude, whatever it was, Bogdan, or maybe it was Span in that other fight. Yeah, so whatever. Yeah, Petrino, right? So after that fight, everybody was kind of a little high on him, and then Roman Dolidze just beat his ass. So Roman Dolidze's losses are to Nasruddin Imavov, who we just saw beat Brendan Allen, right? And to Marvin Vettori. I mean, kind of a legendary name. I'm not buying. I'm going Roman Dolidze. You're giving me plus money. I'm fucking taking it. I think the Trailblazer gets smoked.
Wow, this is a tough one for me to call. I really racked my brain on this one. And to your point, actually, about to say something for Dolidze, it's Vettori is lucky to have gotten that decision. So am I. I had Vettori by decision. I think Dolidze probably won that fight. And then on the opposite side, there's a majority draw loss to Nasruddin Imavov on his record. Imavov beat the shit out of him in that fight. So, hey, then he returned the favor, beat the shit out of Anthony Smith, who, like you said, we were high on after the upset. I just like Slick. I know Slick's going to talk about maybe the over, another middleweight bout, or this is at light heavyweight?
Yeah.
So light heavyweight contest. Well, both guys certainly durable. We know that both can take a punch. Dolidze's striking technique is kind of sloppy, but he can grapple too. He's just a monster. He'll get in close, he'll march forward. And like Plus said, Holland is always in dangerous exchanges, and he's willing to get in the mix there. So I don't know, man. In my mind's eye, Slick, I don't know how I see this fight playing out. I see it playing out ugly. Who do you have winning it?
I'm going to go with Dolidze in this spot. I just think I always told myself that if I'm a bet against Holland, if he can't out-grapple the guy, and if the guy has a great chin, and Dolidze has both those attributes. He's a great grappler in his own right, and he has a great chin, never been knocked out. This is just a guy that I just don't think Holland, if the fight is boring, Holland is not going to do nothing. I just hate betting on him because he wants guys to exchange punches with him like Jack Della. Jack Della he's a striker, and he wants the fight to go his way. And when it doesn't go his way, he just lets it go away from him. So I know Dolidze, he's one of those types of guys that if he's up 2 rounds, he's going to probably try to play it safe in that third, clinch Holland up. Holland going to be hitting his ear, telling the crowd, let's go or something. And Dolidze not going to give a fuck. He's going to go for the win. He's like Anthony Smith fight. He was winning the fight. He's not going to give Anthony Smith no chance to get the sub or a crazy knockout. He's going to do what it has to do to win. So I'm going to take Dolidze in this spot just for the simple fact that I know he's probably not going to do more, but it's going to be opportunities that he's going to have just Kevin Holland in the clinch, probably take Kevin Holland down, even though that's not Dolidze's game. Dolidze isn't a straight-up wrestler, but he's a smart man. So I think this is a spot that, he's probably going to throw hooks. Kevin Holland's going to try to fully show it. He's going to move back to the cage, and Dolidze going to clinch him up for 2-3 minutes, and then next thing you know, the round goes away from him. So I'm going to take Dolidze, and I also like the over in this spot.
What a world. Where have we come where Slick is now saying Dolidze is a smart man from the days that he was trying to pull heel hooks on Trevin Giles up 2 rounds and then losing the fight. Now Dolidze, I kind of agree, though, moving to Extreme Couture has gotten a lot better. So after he got rinsed by Imavov, I was super down on him. This is how MMA goes, guys. It's not like just losing one football game or losing a baseball game. You get your ass beat. It's hard to come back and think highly of a guy, right? But just like a team, you lose 1 week, you come back. It's another match. And Dolidze certainly rebounded against Smith. So I think this could be a good fight. And I agree with Slick's point that if it's boring, it's probably Dolidze's side. Cal, what do you think about this one?
I think Slick broke that down absolutely perfectly. I think that Delize, although he doesn't, he's slick with his submissions. He's not really a strong wrestler, but I think he's going to actually ragdoll Holland a little bit early in this fight. And then as Holland has a chance late in the fight to actually come back and maybe land some strikes and pour it on and actually win the fight, he won't, and he doesn't. So I just see Delize holding on to it. I actually even like the decision prop this week for Roman Delize.
All right, so Cal likes the over. Cal likes Delize. You guys are starting to convince me. I don't think I'm going to bet anything on Holland, and now I want to bet something on Delize and the over. Mr. Plus, we like the dog. Give me a method. Do you like decision?
Nah, I think he knocks him out.
Oh, yeah, you did say you think he's going to put hands on him.
Listen, it's Delize moving down to 185, right? And it's Holland was 170, and now he's moved up to 185. That's a much bigger human. And like Cal just said, the ragdoll could be real. Take him to the ground and just hammer fists until the ref tells him to stop.
I'm just trying to confirm what weight class this fight is at. Is this at light heavyweight or middleweight?
I'll confirm in a second.
Yeah, I'm looking on.
I'm pretty sure Delize has gone down in weight and has been cutting weight and been more efficient with his training. It's 185, and Holland has been sort of dabbling up and down.
Right. It's at, there you go, Slick. It's at middleweight. We like that.
Yeah,
there you go. The middleweight overs trend is in play that Slick gave us last week. Cashed again with Imavov and Allen, over 2.5. Easy work. So keep betting it. It's an amazing clip that they're hitting at. Slick gave us. Okay, guys. Slick, give me your dog of the week. Who do you got?
Well, we already talked about this girl. We're going with Marina Rodriguez, 1+140. I like her to keep the range. I like her to keep the volume up. Not really much to say. We already broke it down earlier.
Let's go. Muay Thai for the win. All right, guys. I'm going with Jose Jr. Aldo for my dog of the week. This is a fight that I'm really excited to talk about with y'all. And, man, I can't believe I faded him against Jonathan Martinez in his last fight. I thought that Jose Aldo, going boxing heavy, stepping away from MMA, was going to have to deal with the low kicks of Martinez, right? Maybe heavy on that lead leg. The signature low kicks were going to be too much, but not the case, man. Jose Aldo just showed he's still at the top tier. He's still an elite fighter. I mean, one of the greatest bantamweights and featherweights of all time. And at 38 years old, he's barely lost a step. Like, look at his losses. His last loss in 2021, Merab. Merab's the champion, and he arguably dealt with his grappling advances better than anyone has. Like, that was a fairly close fight, right? So I think Aldo, I'm just mad at myself for having faded him. I'm jumping back on the train here. He's a dog again against Mario Batista, who's certainly a good fighter. I like Batista. He's explosive, big uppercuts, big hooks, and really good grappling. He's going to look to throw those big shots to implement his grappling. Anyone that's fighting Jose Aldo is probably going to want to grapple with him. The guy's kickboxing is too sharp. I was so impressed with how he was checking kicks and even returning kicks to Jonathan Martinez and kind of winning that battle. So I imagine Batista is going to look to tangle up and grapple. But like I just said, Jose Aldo's grappling defense still top tier. I mean, I was so impressed with, even in a loss, how he dealt with Merab. It's not like Merab dominated him and smothered him like he does these other guys. So I think that he can defend the advances of Batista, who has not even faced close to this level of competition. And Aldo is going to be able to keep this on the feet and outscore him. Level check time, like Cal likes to say. Cal, let me get your take first. Is this a signature level check?
This is 1000% a level check if you ever saw it, because if you look at Mario Batista, he is like everything that could actually be a guy that could take Aldo out, but we just don't know it yet. And with Aldo, he's just showed in his last fight he's not going away, and you got to trust his boxing solid, his Muay Thai's solid as well too. He's known for his leg kicks. He's fallen in love with his boxing. His wrestling has gotten better over the past couple of years as well too, and shown that he can get takedowns, and his jiu-jitsu's always been solid. On top of that, he was one of the best champions of all time, and to me is still on my GOAT Hall of Fame. So with Aldo, you got to show me that you can beat him, and if I get him at plus money, I'm taking it all day. So I think this is a great spot. Aldo plus money all day long.
Yep, and Batista in Salt Lake. I mean, I'm going to trust a former champion who's cardio to hold up and to fight a measured fight. I wonder who's gassing, man. Someone's got to gas. Maybe these fighters have all acclimated themselves to the elevation. But Mr. Plus, do you think Aldo is worth a plus money shot here?
Absolutely. I think that's the right side, to be honest. Although we all like Mario Batista and he's a dog, his strength of schedule is just not there. You know, Ricky Simone and Damon Blackshear were your hardest fights. This is Jose Aldo we're talking about. And like you said, his only loss recently was to Merab, the champ right now. Yeah, I don't see it, man. I think Aldo's got a more than a couple fights left, man. This dude's got it. He's still got it. At 38, he looks great. And like you said, no one's going to stand with this guy. Like Mario Batista's only path to victory is the dirty boxing clinch. And I don't think you can pull that off against Aldo. I think Aldo might even be stronger, even at 38. Give me Aldo plus money, straight up. Might even fucking parlay some dogs this week.
Oh, baby, a dog parlay. I agree, though. Like, dirty boxing, inside work is how Batista's going to have to make it ugly, right? If it's technical, if it's clean slick, that's got to be Aldo. But Cal mentioned the Muay Thai. I like Aldo in the clinch. I think even against a strong, explosive guy, like technique wins out here. Do you think Aldo would be too much for him?
Yeah, man. Honestly, I don't think that's Mario Bautista's path to victory is making a dirty clinch, because the way Aldo shoots those combinations in the pocket is just gonna wear on Bautista all 3 rounds. And the one thing about Bautista is that he's known for that 1-1-2. And I just don't think that a lot of those fights, even that Mont Blackshear, that Ricky Simone, he was able to establish the jab, and that's what he really feeds off, that jab. I just don't think he's gonna be able to get that jab going with maybe like as soon as he throw that jab, whack, a leg kick is gonna come to your legs. And if you try to something else, I just don't think Jose Aldo didn't even get taken down by Merab. He just got held against the cage for 3 rounds. So do I trust Mario Batista to get him down? I doubt it. Like he got subs over guys like Guido Canetti, Benito Lopez, who was a realtor. I just can't trust this guy like in the spot. So, and even in that Mont Blackshear fight, Mont Blackshear took that fight on like a week's notice, had arguably more cardio than Mario Batista in that fight, and had more volume in him. That's the one thing about Mario Batista. If he doesn't get that jab going, he doesn't really know where to start a combination from. He starts all his combinations from the jab. So I think it's a good spot for Jose Aldo to keep going up and getting that. I think if he beats Mario Batista, you arguably got to give him a top 3 guy.
Absolutely. He'll have earned it. I mean, you'll have no choice but to put 39-year-old almost Jose Aldo back into the title mix at bantamweight. I mean, it's the most dangerous division in the sport, and he's still doing it.
Rightfully so, though. Let me get on my soapbox. They robbed. Okay, they put him up against Merab when Merab didn't even want a title shot. He did not want to fight his buddy who had the belt. And they put him up against Jose Aldo, and they stole his title shot by putting up against a wrestler that they knew he was going to potentially snuff him out when the guy didn't even want to shot himself. It was just mind-numbingly frustrating. So I would love to see him actually get a reshot and go get that belt back. It would be beautiful.
I love that. Some justice for one of the GOATs, Jose Aldo. Yeah, training with the Brazilian Navy. His boxing has only gotten sharper, and Slick doesn't think that Batista is going to establish his jab and his ability to set up his stuff. I mean, that spells Batista being behind the 8 ball in this fight. Let's go Aldo dog of the week. Slick gave you, he likes Rodriguez, and Mr. Plus likes Roman Dolidze. So some interesting ones there. All right, fellas, let's make a Darce parlay. Let's see if we can squeeze the bookie on this one. Did we cash the last one? Yes, we did. We cashed the last week's parlay at plus 179. We're back in the mix. Let's get a streak going, fellas. Mr. Plus, kick us off. You got the first fight of the night as our first leg. Always fun.
Lead it off. And, I hate to go with the old guys, but it's old guy versus old guy in this one. So there's 2 old guys, 40 and 39. And I'm going with the Dirty Bird. Clash of styles. I think the Dirty Bird, he has great takedown defense. I think he can keep this on the feet and piece Court McGee up. He's going to be way faster with his hands. It's crazy to say Tim Means is going to be way faster, but he is going to be way faster. Bro, Court McGee doesn't have it on the feet. And although both of these guys have lost a bunch of fights, Tim Means did have that one win against Andre Fialho. Of course, I was on the wrong side. I'm just not fading this guy if they put someone that's the same type matchup against them, whether it's another old guy or whether it's someone that's just not as good. I like Tim Means to get the job done and lead off the Darce leg with a W.
The Dirty Bird, always a fun fighter, veteran that you gotta love. He's just down for a nasty scrap. He'll take one to give one, and I agree with Plus. I mean, Court McGee, the sort of old veteran grizzly wrestler, Slick, like he kind of impressed me in making it a close fight with Alex Morono, but I would say that's more Morono just kind of fighting a stinker of a performance maybe. I'll give McGee some credit, but I don't see him beating the Dirty Bird here. How do you see this fight playing out?
Yeah, we seen Morono's performance against Nico Price after that, so I don't know about that. So yeah, I definitely got to take Dirty Bird in this spot. I've been betting this guy ever since that Fialo fight. I think I faded him against Kevin Holland, but this is just a good spot for him. He's fighting a guy that needs the wrestling going. Tim Means has great knees up the middle, has good straight shots. So yeah, give me Tim Means, and I wouldn't be surprised if Tim Means gets his grappling going. He has good dart chokes, good guillotines. He just doesn't really been able to get them going. So I think this is a good spot for the Dirty Bird.
I like it. McGee used to have a great chin. He was known for it, but it got cracked. Jeremiah Wells cracked it. He got knocked out again after that, I believe. So the older man wins the battle of the old man of the old guys, the senior home fight, 40-41 here, Mr. Price. So you're going with the older guy, funny enough. Okay, Slick, who's your leg? What are we going with?
Yeah, we're going with the over 2.5 in the Kevin Holland Roman Dolidze fight. I already told you guys overs in the middleweight division has just been hitting at a high clip. This is definitely a good spot. Two tough guys, two durable guys. I don't believe neither of these guys, outside of Kevin Holland getting knocked out his last fight, neither of these guys have been knocked out in their last fight. And I don't think the grappling is really going to get going in this spot. Maybe some clinch work, stuff like that. But I just don't think that neither guy is going to get the opportunity to get a sub. So give me the over 2.5 in this fight.
Oh, I mean, all you need to know is the betting math. He told you that, in the top 10, they've been hitting at over 82% clip, another one hit. So add to that record. I mean, just close your eyes and bet middleweight overs in the top 10. That's all you need to know. Great legs. Like, I'm going to go to round it out with Raquel Pennington to defend her belt against Juliana Pena. And we got to talk about the co-main event of the evening, right? Bantamweight strap on the line. I'll put it simple. I don't think Juliana Pena is that good. I think she's tough. I think she's ferocious, and those are great attributes to have as a cage fighter. Can make it real tough. But I think that her win over Amanda Nunes, looking back on that now, was probably some of the most fluke shit in MMA history. Like, she just brought the fire to Nunes's face, and for whatever reason, Nunes wasn't ready that night. She just got overwhelmed. Look what happened in the second fight. I mean, that was a more accurate display of skill for skill. And I just don't see Pena just overwhelming Pennington. I know she's the bigger fighter, but Pennington's crafty, man. She's got good boxing. She's got good grappling and clinch work of her own. I think she can last. She's tough as well. And I see Pena just drowning her like she did that upset win over Nunes. So give me Pennington to outpoint her really wherever the fight goes and maybe drag her into deep waters and make it tough on Pena, be the one beating her up late. Mr. Plus, what do you think about the co-main?
Yeah, I like Pennington in this spot. And listen, we don't mean to agree on all these fights. I'm sure we're going to have some different ones coming up. Trust me, I know it. However, yeah, I'm with Pennington on this one. She trains in altitude. She's not going to be bothered by the 5 rounds. And I think she retains the belt. Just like you said, Juliana Pena, she's just not that good. And not only is she not that good, she's not active at all. That fight was 2 years ago now, her last fight. I can't get behind that. I got to go with Ann Still. Give me Raquel Pennington to hold the belt.
Yeah, great point. Going into Elevation, haven't fought in 2 years, fighting someone that trains in Colorado Springs at Elevation. So, yeah, that makes me like the minus 160. I think I might play Raquel Pennington as a straight bet at that line. So, like, what do you think about this fight?
Yeah, like you said, I just never thought too high of Juliana Pena. Like, Amanda Nunes was coming off that 2-year layoff because of COVID. You know, she had just had a baby like a couple months ago before that fight. So her mind just wasn't in that fight. And then after bookies actually made her a minus 250 in the next fight, of course I had to max bet her the next fight. But this is just a spot that Pennington is just one of those girls that we've seen in that Mayra Bueno Silva fight. She's not going to play the wrestling game unless it's going her way. If she's able to get up, she's going to get up. Pena, honestly, I don't think hits hard at all. I think Pennington is going to be the harder hitter in this spot. And what I've seen from Pena in all of her fights that I've seen, I just don't think she's, like you said, is good. Like like you said, she's one of those girls that if you don't knock her out and you gas out, she'll take advantage of it. But that's one thing we know about Pennington. She has a good gas tank. She's going to be there all 5 rounds if it has to. So, yeah, give me Pennington also.
Just like looking at Nunes's record, like, what has she done? Jessica I, Kat Zingano decisions. Okay, you got it. Valentina armbarred her. Nico Montano decision. Jermaine Durandamy guillotined her. Sarah McMahon, rear naked choke. Okay, you got it. And then she got the title shot for Nunes after rear naked choking Sarah McMahon. And then she pulled off the biggest upset and women's MMA history, perhaps, and then immediately got sunned in the next fight. So back to that. Back to getting sunned. Let's go Rocky Pennington. That'll make a Darce parlay plus 250 range there. I was still messing around with the odds changing on books, but I mean, that's pretty spicy, fellas. So we got to like that. All right, y'all.
Death, taxes,
go ahead,
and Rocky by decision. Rocky by decision all day long.
Yes, sir. Let's go. Yeah, Mr. Plus, we are agreeing on a lot. That's a little scary, but that's okay. We can be a team sometimes. We often disagree. I like when we're on the same page. Hopefully we can all cash together. Honorable mentions. It's time to talk about the fights we haven't talked about. There's a reason I didn't want to talk about this fight, Mr. Plus. OSP, Ovin St. Peru versus Ryan Spann. You're going to make me bet on this? No, I refuse. You're going to make me watch it? Fine, I'll do it like the Walking Dead meme. Or no. Man, Spann, minus 340. OSP, plus 270. Can he pull off another upset?
I feel like that line was minus 500 when they were supposed to fight, whatever that was, a few weeks ago or a month ago. So that's crazy that it's already where it is, right? That the lines tell stories, and that one's telling me that OSP is a live dog, and obviously he is against Ryan Spann. Ryan Spann is unpredictable. Both of these guys are both the most unpredictable fighters in their weight class. I gotta not bet on this whatsoever. I'm not gonna put any money on this. No. Obviously, you guys see it's an honorable mention. It shouldn't even be an honorable mention. It should be a fucking mention. This one, not even, it doesn't even deserve honorable. I'm fading this fight altogether. However, since we usually make a pick on everyone, dog or pass plus money for me. I mean, either one of these guys could win in, I don't know what fashion, whether it's a knockout early, a sub early, and Spann wants to grab the neck, or maybe just OSP wants to beat him up somehow and just win this fight and look decent for Saturday. I have no idea what's going to happen. Do not put money on this fight.
That's kind of how I feel about it. It's just like, what can we expect, Slick? I mean, OSP turns back the clock. I don't even know you call it that. Kennedy Nzechukwu fights a terrible fight. OSP wins as like a plus 500 dog, right? Oh, he's still got it. He's 40. He can strike a little. Such a labored Muay Thai striking style, but it worked. And of course, we know he's got the Von Flue choke, his signature choke. So I don't know. Can he put Spann in a bad position? Spann has shown terrible fight IQ after 5 minutes in so many fights. I mean, do you think Spann just smokes him with a shot, or do you think he ends up doing classic oopsies Spann moment?
Yeah, this is probably the first time in Darce history that I did not do no tape study at all on this fight, because I really don't know what's going to happen on this fight. Like, this is a fight that any outcome in the world could happen. You know, like, this is probably like a fight that Ryan Spann wins by broken toe, or Ovin St. Peru wins by Ryan Spann hitting the cage too hard and he gets knocked out. I don't want nothing to do with this fight, honestly. Like, I didn't look at props on this fight. I don't want to do nothing with this fight. This is just a fight that you got Ryan Spann minus 310. No. Do I want to bet on St. Peru? No. So, yeah, I'm going to just skip this fight entirely. If I had to pick, I'm going to pick Ryan Spann by broken toe.
Cal, I dare you to make a bet in this fight.
Well, we talked about this fight already before it was rescheduled, and we talked about it, and I told you guys, please, nobody put $1 on this bet. And now what happens is the books have got every angle covered. So there's going to be no value on this. You're not going to find a prop that's going to have real value. The books already got all the information they need the last time they tried to bet this fight. So I would stay off it altogether. You're not going to make any money on this fight.
That is actually a really interesting point that should be noted. For fights that are canceled and then rebooked, the books do have an advantage, right? I mean, they've garnered information, they've seen the camps, and then they come out and get to reset the line or readjust. Like, that's when they're at their sharpest. So I really like that point from Cal there. It's like a sketchy spot, a rebooked fight. Maybe rethink how you're approaching it based on the line switches. Or yeah, I like that, man.
Hold on. If I was gonna bet it though.
Yes. There he goes. There he goes.
I would take the plus 270 on the OSP side, and then I would find probably a Spann submission prop in rounds 1 or 2 combo, something of that sort, so I can get same plus money or close to it, plus 200 or better, and put a half unit on both. If I was gonna bet it, but I'm not.
There you go. Daredevil plus willing to take a side or something in this fight. I know what to do, Slick. I'm betting disqualification. Plus
money's thrown out some breadcrumbs with fucking arsenic on it.
Arsenic-laced breadcrumbs. That is devious. Ketlin Vieira taking on Kayla Harrison. Minus 800. The judoka Harrison. Is she just going to maul her, Slick? I mean, Vieira's not bad. I kind of seeing minus 800. Everyone's probably going to bet Harrison finish. I feel like Vieira can last a decision. What do you think? I mean, I don't know. There's no props out yet, but if I get even close to even money, I'll bet Harrison decision.
I mean, they got Harrison by decision at, I'm about to tell you right now.
Oh, you got it up?
At plus 107.
I like that. I mean, do you think that she puts her away like Holly Holm?
Fuck no. I can't bet against this steroid using girl. Like until they come out and have her banned from MMA, I can't bet against her, bro. I'm like Kayla Vieira actually is tall and big, you know, like she's real like stocked out for it. But man, I can't bet against Kayla. I'm gonna bet her by decision. And over 2.5 is minus 160. So if you want to take that as a little straight bet, I think that's pretty worth it. I think Vieira is known for the biggest robbery and probably I remember I made a video and everything for her against Holly Holm. So I hate her. So Kayla Harrison by steroids.
Yet to fail a drug test, like adamant that Kayla Harrison will get popped for steroids. Her strength is incredible, Mr. Plus, just unreal physical strength in the clinch. But to Slick's point, Vieira's big. I mean, Vieira's got grappling skill. She's not nobody. She's not someone who just gets ragdolled, and she's fought some pretty solid comp. What do you think of her? Does she have a fighting chance here?
No, she has no fighting chance here, and she is going to get ragdolled completely because, yes, the steroids, I'm in full agreement with Slick. However, even more than that, we'll give her credit where it's due, a judo champion, and she is disgusting at judo. So I do think she can flip anyone over her fucking boom, hip toss anyone, whether they're bigger, smaller, it doesn't matter. Same size. Looks like they're both 5'8", squaring up to be the same size. So, yeah, she's enormous as well. And the judo champion. Can't take credit away from her for that. What is she, gold medalist over and over? Undisputed judo champ. And with those kind of skills, you could take a fight inside the clinch and literally just ragdoll your opponent to the ground. And when you're on steroids, like Slick said, she'll keep you on the ground. So we'll see if Ketlin can get up. I doubt it. Maybe they'll throw hands for a little bit, but yeah, this should be boring now that I think about it more and more. And the play is either the over or just Kayla Harrison plus money by decision. I like that. I don't hate it.
Clinch fest, clinch city in this. It's just going to be bad. It's just like we said in our Darce chat. Kayla Harrison by head position. Slick said Kayla Harrison by steroid clinch, right? Just like driving the forehead and having positional control. I think Vieira will be good enough to make it to the scorecards, but she'll lose every round. All right, Kayla, don't finish her. Don't brutalize her like you did Holly Holm. Just go to the judges. Make it boring. Final fight on the card to talk about. Kind of an exciting one. Ihor Potieria, plus 320. Taking on Cesar Almeida, minus 410. I just see like a devious energy in Mr. Plus. I'm just feeling it through the screen. Tell me that you're taking the shot on the wild, unorthodox striker, Ihor Potieria.
I'm glad you let me go first. I'm going to say this right now. This 36-year-old kickboxer with zero fucking ground game whatsoever should never be a minus 400 in the UFC. The line is ridiculous. They keep sleeping on Ihor, he's not great, but he can get the job done, bro. Wrestle this fight, grapple this fight. And honestly, he's the bigger, taller guy. 6'3", longer reach. It's hard to fucking work with those guys if they want to take you down, bring you down, wrap around your body. Man, I don't like this Cesar Almeida unless he has that. To me, he's got a fighter's punching chance, and he better land it on Ihor, or I think he's going to get controlled, beat up, ragdolled a little bit. The line is crazy off. Of course, I'm taking a shot on the plus 310. When I told you guys I had 2 dogs, this is the second one. I will be betting on this fight. I'm taking Ihor. I'm confident in it. Cesar Almeida, if you're really that dude, make me a fan. Make me a fucking fan, because I haven't seen anything impressive. And you fought the one knockout on the Contender Series was impressive. To me, that was it. But when you fought Roman Kopylov, and it was a split, they gave you the split, he beat the shit out of you, bro. That wasn't a close fight.
The split, yeah, it probably was Kopylov clear 29-28. And Cesar Almeida, the kickboxer, was exposed for his weakness on the ground. He's best known for having an early career win over Alex Pereira, who's on this card with him. Hey, maybe they shake hands and say what up and kick back old memories of their 3 fights in 2013 kickboxing bouts. But obviously his MMA game is not quite there yet. And like you said, Kopylov exposed him on the ground. It's like Ihor is a guy that we've been fading for years. I mean, although he's he's like 2-4 with the UFC. I mean, he's fought Carlos Ulberg, Michel Pereira guillotined him. Like, he's fought pretty decent competition, right? So Mr. Plus isn't wrong for having some faith in him. I just wonder, I know he's an explosive striker, sort of unorthodox. We're not going to want to strike in this matchup, right? I wonder, can he implement a grappling heavy game plan? Can he take him down and expose him again? What do you think? Has Ihor got that in his skill set?
I was looking at Ihor as a potential dog in this spot. He's just one, like you said, unorthodox type of guy. He could definitely make Almeida, because Almeida was getting mad in that Roman Kopylov fight. Kopylov was just tapping him with a nice jab, and Almeida was trying to like bum rush him and wasn't able to get the fight and wasn't able to get the strikes going. And man, I want to go Pereira in this spot, maybe as a. I'm a pick Almeida as a pick, but I'll probably end up betting Pereira in this spot. Almeida is just one of those types of guys that you can't trust him at -400. He's one of those types of guys that a lot of his fights, MMA fights, have finished in the first round when they was going his way. Whenever a fight has went a little distance. The one thing we know about is Pereira is that he has shown that he has moments like in that Rodolfo Bellato fight. You arguably could have stopped that fight in the first round when he had Bellato down on the ground and pounding him. Michel Pereira, Carlos Ulberg, you can't wrong him for that. He did beat Robert Brichek, who had a lot of hype coming off the Contender Series. A guy that a lot of people thought was gonna smoke Pereira on the feet, and Pereira just made a difference. So I think this is a good spot for Pereira. I'll probably end up sprinkling him, but maybe fight to end by knockout is probably a bet.
There you go. So interesting takes on Pereira Almeida there. Maybe the line is truly inflated. Maybe we lost Mr. Plus or something here, but all good, because that was the last fight of the night, and that'll sign us out. Mr. Plus just had to leave a little early. Fashionable. From myself, Slick Montana, Mr. Plus Money, and Cal on the ones and twos. That was the Darce Podcast, UFC 307. Good luck if you're tailing any of the picks, and we'll see you guys in the comments. Make sure you smash the like button. Appreciate you all watching. And let's cash. Peace, y'all.